And I did that for like 20 minutes straight, y'all. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. And today I was like, I think I'm gonna do a story time for y'all, because usually I do vlogs, I do little, Q&As here and there, but I was like, I'm gonna do a story time. So I put on my Instagram, I said, do y'all want a story time of when I greened out on the edible, or do y'all want a story time of when I get cheated on? And mostly everyone said a story time when I was on the edible, when I greened out on the edible. But if y'all do want the cheating one, let me know. I'll do a whole nother video. So let's get to the video. Hello, what's up? So y'all, I remember this like, honestly, like it was yesterday. I remember it like it was yesterday, to be honest, because this is what kept me away from that gas. And kids, if you're watching this, don't do this. And if you do it, I'm gonna give you a warning right now, and let this story be your warning, even though no kid should be watching this for real. So basically, I was 16, right? And at the time, me and this girl, we were a little closer than we are now. We don't got no beef or nothing. We're just like, not as close anymore. But we still cool. We still follow each other and all that. So I was like 16. And that was during the time I was really smoking. And I was like, okay, I always smoked it. I always did it. But I never had an edible. So I was like, I did at this one party before, but it didn't do nothing. And I ate the whole thing, which I know I got played with then, because I ain't feel no type of highness from that. So that's when I knew. And definitely I knew I didn't have a real edible, because I would have known at that party if I did. And I would have probably called an ambulance. So basically, I was 16 years old. And I remember it was some type of like family event, so the neighbors were over, like my parents, and this is so dumb of me, basically my parents' friends were over. So I was like, okay, but I'll invite one of my friends over because I'm bored. And I think this was 2020, or when it was about to be 2020, I'm not sure, I forgot. All I know was 16. If I'm about to be 21 now, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 16, 5 years, okay, it was around 2020, whatever, I'm not doing the math. So I was 16, and it was like a family gathering, and not only were my parents downstairs, see, I have a basement, and there's a movie theater, and I have a dance studio, and then there's the outside where it's like a barbecue place. So everyone was outside in the barbecue place having fun, doing what they do. So me and my friend, I said, hey girl, and I texted her yesterday, I was like, so I really want to try edible, because I know she had a plug. She always had a plug. So she was like, okay, bet. So she came over. We were chilling. We were like, all right, it's cool. We was watching a little movie. And see, one thing I messed up on, I didn't really eat like that. I probably had a little bit of stuff, but I was so geeked, like, about the edible, because I never tried it. I was like, ooh, I really want to try this. So it was like a nerd candy, and it had the nerds all like around it, if you know what I mean. And she was like, okay, basically I got it, like, ooh, I got it. She took it out her backpack. She was like, ooh, I got it. So we was chilling in the basement, so we took half. I didn't do one full one, but it seemed like that half was too much anyway. So we both took one half. We was chilling. 10 minutes in, we're like, this ain't doing nothing. Like, this ain't really doing nothing. 20 minutes in, okay, we chilling, still chilling. 30 minutes, it's like, okay, now he definitely played us. Like, I don't feel nothing. 40, 50. Now when that hour hit, y'all, I swear it felt like I dropped. And it's funny because me and my girl at the time, we freaking dropped together. Because right when we both feel that drop, I look at her, she looked at me, I said, you feel that? She looked at me back, she was like, I feel that. And I was like, wait, this is crazy. Like, this is a whole different type of, so I was like, oh, I wasn't used to this. So I remember being so geeked. I started getting up and freestyle dancing, but it was to Janae Aiko. All my Janae Aiko girly fans. And her concert's on the way. Okay, back to the story. So it was to Janae Aiko, Magic Hour. And I started getting up. I started freestyling. I was like, oh my gosh, like I can hear the melodies. I could feel it. It's feeling so good. I'm chilling. I'm done. Then I'm like, I started getting out of breath. So I was like, all right, maybe I'm tripping. Let me go upstairs and get some water. So I went up the stairs, and let me tell you, it's a lot of freaking stairs from that basement to just like my living room. So I went up the stairs, and I tried to give myself a little bit of water, but I was like, okay, all right, I'm starting not to feel too well. So I chilled down on the couch in the living room, and I was sitting and I was waiting, and I was like, okay, all right. I was like, cool. I felt better. So then I was like, I forgot I had left something in my room. So that's another flight up my stairs. I went upstairs, and right when I hit them steps, and let me tell y'all, I gave myself time to like relax. So I was relaxed. So once I was fully relaxed upstairs, I hear boom 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 boom. And y'all, that was the most scariest thing. I kept hearing my heart, and my ears started getting hot, and I kept hearing like, you know when you hear a heartbeat through a freaking doctor's lenses and you hear it? That's what I was hearing in my own ears. It was like boom 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 boom. Y'all, I started freaking out. I thought I was gonna pass out. It just made it go harder and harder. I was trying to do breathing techniques. The breathing techniques wasn't working, so I was like, oh dang. I started freaking out. So then I didn't want to text my mom because I was scared, and I know I was gonna be on punishment afterwards if I text her that I just took a dang edible in her dang basement in her house. And I didn't out my friend, y'all. So I started do. Then I texted my mom. I couldn't. I said, Mom, I think something's wrong with me. I had to be straight up. I told her I took an edible. I had to be straight up because if I were to pass out, and my mama ain't know, my camera had stopped. So basically, yeah. So I had to be straight up and tell my mom, because if I had passed out and my mama ain't know what was going on, she would have tripped. She would have called the ambulance. And all that stuff. So I had to tell her. So she ended up coming upstairs. My friend ended up coming upstairs with her. And I know my friend was so scared. Her face was like she knew something was wrong. She knew that I was tripping. And my mom came, and all I remember is me like passing out, like everything went black. And I wouldn't feel myself breathing, but they said I was breathing, but I wouldn't feel myself breathing, y'all. That was the scariest part. I would go like this, then I'd wake up, I'd be like, Mom. And I did that for like 20 minutes straight, y'all. I promise you. Like, I was fighting. I felt like I was dying. Like, I was fighting for my life. I was not ready to die. And all I remember blacking out and hearing my friend say, I don't think she's okay. And it's so funny because I know she was super, super scared. And in my head, I wanted to laugh, but I was passing out and I couldn't even laugh. So I remember walking to the mirror, into the bathroom, and I was like, you'll be okay. It's gonna be okay. And I just remember it felt like my face was literally like doing this. It felt like my face looked like, I put this on myself. It felt like my face was going like this, but it really wasn't. I was just too out in the sky that my eyes was really like this, but it felt like my whole face was doing this. So it kind of tricked me into thinking I was seeing my face go like this. So then my mom was like, okay, basically she was like, okay, I'm tired of this. Do you need to go to the hospital? I said, no, I don't need to go to the hospital. And all I remember is going in the car and she about to go drop my friend off back at her crib because my mom was tight, y'all. She was tight. And I remember on the way to the crib, I was seeing like y'all. Y'all gonna think I'm tripping. Like, I ended up seeing white stairs and I was seeing like light white figures. Y'all, I thought I was literally dying. I started seeing white light figures and I started seeing white stairs. And the whole time it was just the sun glaring on me from the window. But I was like, oh wow. And I was like, Mom, am I dying? Am I gonna die? She said, no, you're not. And I'm just like, I would go back to sleep. And then I asked my mom again, am I breathing? And she's like, Kayla, you are breathing. So I'll go back to school, sleep. And let me tell you something, my mom was not comforting at all. I know she was really mad, but dang, maybe it's because my mom is like from Brooklyn and stuff, so she really be having like this rough tone to her. So I was just like, okay. Then all I remember, I opened my eyes when we dropped my friend off, and all I remember is coming out the car, and I could barely walk, y'all. I felt like I needed to throw up, but it just wouldn't come out. I could barely walk, and it was so bad because I had to be on set the next day for something. So I was like this. My mom holding me up, and I'm looking like a druggie. I can't even get up. I'm looking drunk. So I go to my room. I fall asleep, and all I remember is just me giving in. I'm just like, at this point, it is what it is. I was fighting for my breath, so whatever happens after this, it happens. I ended up waking up from my nap. It was my 2 dogs with me. Went at the time, Zoe and Fifi. They were laying right next to me because they were so worried about me. And my mom came in, and I saw her look at me. And y'all know that stare when your mom is mad at you, but she's still coming in to check in if you're still alive or still good. So she came in, I was good. I remember the next morning I went on set, and my mom was like, you know you on punishment, right? I said, yeah. I was just like over it. Honestly, I was just happy to not be high. I was just so happy to have come down from that. So then I was in the car, and it was driving. I was looking out pretty. Then 1, 2, 3. I just started throwing up. And it all just came out. And I just went about my day like nothing even happened. So yeah. That was my story about the time I greened out on an edible. And it's so crazy because that whole time I was in high school and I didn't have nothing. But that time, I think it was because it was too much THC and my body had too much THC. Until this day, I will never take an edible ever again. Like, I'm about to be 21 and I will never ever take an edible ever again or smoke ever again. Nothing. None of that. Just keep me away from it. So that was my story. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this made you like learn something or laugh just a tiny bit, even though, you know, it was just a straight up thing. But yeah, it was wild. And I'll see y'all in the next video.
Such thing as a life that's better than yours.